Welcome back to Really Haunted Places. Tonight's top 7 ghost stories will take you to haunted places in New Mexico. Dawson is a ghost town close to Cimarron, but there is very little left now, well apart from the cemetery, which also just so happens to be one of the most haunted places in New Mexico. Dawson originally sprang up around the large coal mining operation that was run by the Phelps Dodge Corporation. However, the town and the mine were shrouded in death and destruction, so much so that it almost seems fitting that only the cemetery remains. In 1913, a massive explosion killed 263 men, going down in history as one of the worst coal mining tragedies in American history. As if that was not bad enough, in 1923 disaster struck once more at the mine and claimed the lives of all 121 remaining miners. With such massive tragedy, it is no surprise that there are ghost stories here. Common reports include spectral lights believed to be the miners' helmet lights and various apparitions wandering among the graves. It's common knowledge that Josephita Otero, who lived between 1874 to 1951, now haunts the Luna Mansion. The establishment has embraced these paranormal rumors, christening the room where she appears the Spirit Lounge. Josephita oversaw updates to the mansion, so perhaps that's why her presence remains. It's common knowledge that Josephita Otero, who lived between 1874 to 1951, now haunts the Luna Mansion. The establishment has embraced these paranormal rumors, christening the room where she appears the Spirit Lounge. Josephita oversaw updates to the mansion, so perhaps that's why her presence remains. Old Bernalillo County Courthouse was built in 1926, and over the years it has garnered a reputation as one of the most haunted places in the land of enchantment. In particular, it is the basement of the building which is said to be extremely haunted. Witnesses have reported seeing flickering lights, encountering cold spots, and mysterious gusts of wind. In fact, the courthouse has such a reputation for being a paranormal hotspot that has also been used as a haunted house attraction at Halloween. While it was in operation, Santa Fe Penitentiary housed some of the very worst criminals in New Mexico. It was also the site of the most violent prison riot in the history of the United States. Records indicate that during this riot there were 33 people killed and more than 200 inmates were treated for serious injuries. During the riot alone, people were burned alive, brutally attacked and murdered in cold blood, and that is before we even take into consideration the deaths that would have occurred during everyday prison life outside of the riot. To say that this place has some bad juju associated with it would probably be something of an understatement. Tours are available in both standard and paranormal formats, and many visitors say that they have been followed home by some of the dark spirits that reside here at Santa Fe State Penitentiary. Experience paranormal activity for yourself if you stay in room 307, which according to local legend is haunted by the ghost of a maid named Irene. Visitors claim to hear creaking floorboards and that faces are visible in the wallpaper. Even if you're not interested in the creepy aspects of the hotel, you won't be disappointed if you stay. Authentic and traditional architecture, especially present in the old dining room and saloon, will transport you straight back in time to the Wild West. Albuquerque Press Club is housed in what was formerly the Whittlesey House. The property was built in 1903 as a family residence. It is a 3-story property built in the same manner as a Norwegian villa with low-pitch roofs, exposed log fronting, and rough-cut log facades. It is a very rustic look and was far removed from the family's previous residence in Chicago. When it was first built, it stood on its own since the town had not yet grown out towards that area. There would not have been any vegetation or trees in the area either, which gave the property fantastic views of the Sandias, the river, and the volcanoes. In short, the location is pretty picturesque, which seems at odds with the fact that the building is considered to be one of the most haunted places in the state. The house is now a private club, the Albuquerque Press Club, and it is said to be haunted by a spirit known as Mrs. M. The ghost is said to appear in the form of a woman in a black shawl. Regulars have reported hearing the sound of her high heels on the floor and say that the piano can often be heard playing on its own. Out of the many haunted places in New Mexico, there is only one campground that you can spend the night to get some serious chills. Known as one of the most haunted places in the state, the Holy Ghost Campground is an actual campground in the Santa Fe National Forest that only the bravest stay at. According to the myths and legends surrounding it, the site has seen death, gruesome tragedy, and many creepy tales over the years. The surrounding trees can be seen as beautiful and picturesque, but the ghosts of a Catholic priest, missing state troopers, and other paranormal beings apparently haunt them. I want to thank you for listening to our top 7 ghost stories. And until then, good night.